2 words. I have 2 words for you guys. Playoff Jimmy. Okay, well, technically it was play-in Jimmy, but I don't care, because we've now seen over the last 2 games, with the Warriors needing to win against the Clippers and Grizzlies, it was Jimmy Butler and it was Steph Curry who showed up in both games. And despite falling just short against the Clippers in overtime a few games ago, they got back up and delivered masterpieces in a must-win game against the Memphis Grizzlies. And when I say it was a masterpiece, it was a masterpiece.
Sandos a screen. Curry from way outside. Got it! Butler got it. Oh! An acrobatic play!
And this game was the perfect example of what you would hope for from a superstar duo. A first half in which Jimmy Butler carried the Warriors, single-handedly giving them a massive lead, knocking down threes, creating open shots, putting in offensive rebounds, and being active on the defensive end of the floor. And then when the game was close and needed to be won down the stretch, you already know who stepped up when it mattered most.
Butler with the move. Green. Curry. 3. Good! It's Curry off the screen, fakes, fires, stuck it!
Showing exactly why Jimmy Butler, one of the league's best players, calls Steph Curry the Batman of this team.
I get to play Robin. That's my Batman. And
because when it matters most, when the game is there to be won, you can count on Steph to deliver every single time. But we aren't going to start by talking about Steph, because as great as he was, this was the Jimmy Butler game. This was a performance in which he was on a different level to every single player on the floor for the first 3 quarters, and he did exactly as he promised he would.
I'm not just a scorer. I can score whenever I want to. I can shoot the toughest shots if I wanted to. And when it's my time, you know that it's my time.
That was Jimmy Butler exactly 1 month ago, telling Warriors fans and reporters that when it was his time to be aggressive, he would be aggressive. And after playing a role as a facilitator, a defender, and occasionally a scorer throughout his first 30 games as a Warrior, these last 2 games have shown you exactly what Jimmy means by that. And we all knew Jimmy was going to cook in this game when the first 2 shots he made were both threes. But after that, we got to see playoff Jimmy in all his glory. Look at him here cutting to the rim, spinning off Jaren Jackson Jr. as he grabs the ball and finishing. The amount of times Jimmy has made circus-like shots through contact as a Warrior is ridiculous, and this game was no different. Not only making that shot in the first quarter, but how about this one off the Draymond Green pass, going around Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. and then going up and under with the left hand to finish. And this is exactly what Jimmy did all night long. After hitting a couple of threes early, it was attack the paint every single time. I mean, every single time he got the ball. He didn't care who was guarding him, he was getting to the rim. And this had an effect in so many different ways. Not only did he make 9 of his 12 shots in the paint, but he had 18 free throws. And that's because there was 0 matchups for Jimmy on Memphis. When he got the switch onto Jaren Jackson Jr. or Zach Edey, he was obviously too quick. But when guys like Ja Morant, Scottie Pippen Jr. or Desmond Bane tried to guard him, he was way too big and way too strong. And I mentioned it just then, but what was so complete about this performance from Jimmy Butler was not only did he have the 38 points, but he was setting up his teammates all night long. Look at him here getting the ball from pods. Jackson Jr. gets caught ball watching and Jimmy finds GP2 backdoor for the easy dunk. Or how about the connection with Quinton Post? I mean, this guy is unbelievable. There are a lot of centers in the NBA that can shoot these days. There are almost 0 centers in the NBA that can shoot like Quinton Post, because whenever that ball touches his hands in transition in the corner off a pick and pop, I don't care. When it touches his hands, I expect it to go in every single time. And that chemistry he has with Jimmy, and vice versa, with both of them knowing exactly what to do when the defense helps over, there is not a player on this team, aside from Steph Curry, who I trust more to knock down shots than Quinton Post. I'm talking to you, Buddy Hield, who is supposed to be one of the greatest shooters ever. I know every single person watching this video has more faith when Quinton Post has the ball than Buddy Hield, and we could spend an entire entire video just talking about Jimmy's performance, but it wasn't just Jimmy, and it wasn't just Steph Curry either. Because I know everyone is going to see the box score and the highlights and immediately think about Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, and rightfully so. But there was one man who changed this game before Steph and Jimmy had it going. After the Grizzlies got off to a hot start, GP2 was subbed into the game with the Warriors trailing 13-8. What did he do on the first possession? Knock down a three. A few minutes later, he set the screen for Steph, got the pass, and rolled to the rim, showing that variation in pick and roll between a guy like GP2 setting a screen and Looney or Post or Draymond. And in typical GP2 fashion, he was making an impact on both ends of the floor. This time with Jaren Jackson Jr. working against Post. Look at GP2 get in there and tie it up before eventually helping the Warriors win the tip, which led to another bucket. This is just a glimpse of what GP2 did, but his energy on defense, his activity, his timely shots, which he has been hitting for months now. I heard Reggie Miller say that he's not a proven shooter, and Reggie Miller knows a lot more about shooting than me, but he's a guy who I would trust to make a shot, not just late in the game, but when the Warriors need that momentum boost. Now, you know who is a trusted shooter? He's just that guy. And he has been that guy for the last month, because he has now scored 36 points or above in 5 of his last 9 games. The most important games of the NBA season for the Warriors, he's delivered in practically every single way, every single time. And after a slowish start to this game, not because he was bad, but because Jimmy was just so damn good, Steph knew he would have his moment. And like he does so often, his moment was at the end of the game. And he started things off in the fourth quarter by getting the screen from Jimmy. Memphis don't switch, and Aldama doesn't want to give up the pass, so Steph just throws up a floater. And by the way, the difficulty of that shot from that angle and hitting that spot on the glass, I don't need to tell you guys. A minute later, it was a classic Warriors action, with Steph giving it up to Dre, who gave it up to Jimmy, and the classic screen from Steph to catch and shoot. And probably my favorite of the shots was this play involving both Steph and Jimmy. Steph sets a brush screen on Bane to get Jimmy freed up. Edey has to help over, and look at Pippen Jr. here. That split second of indecision is enough for Draymond to get the ball, hand it off to Steph, and with the little extra screen, that's a practice shot for Steph. But it was the execution from the brush screen at the start of the play until the handoff and screen from Draymond. Oh, and Steph also made this shot as well.
Fakes. Fires, stuck it!
And just like that, the Golden State Warriors will be matching up against the Houston Rockets in the first round of the playoffs. A first round that is going to be incredibly exciting. Now, if you want to hear me continue to talk about that going forward, consider subscribing. Dropping a like on the video would be cool. Most importantly, have a great day.